So I'd like to start off by asking one question. What are you? Chicken? Well,
I am.
You are. Well, I'm not necessarily chicken, but what I'm going to cook is. The second question I'd like to ask is that age-old adage of, why did the chicken cross the road?
To get on the other side.
He had to get in my pot so I can cook this meal. If he's not in my pot, I can't cook it, right?
Yeah.
So chicken is a very versatile meat, and you can cook it any way you like, pretty much. You can bake it, you can fry it, you can broil it, or you can boil it, which is what I'm going to do. And as I mentioned, chicken being one of the most versatile meats, I'm going to make a meal that my family likes, and I hope by the end of the demonstration, you will too. So, let's begin. First, we're going to cut up the meat. Get on some gloves. And you can pretty much cut this chicken up any way you want. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be cubed. You can just kind of shred it up any way you like. And when you're cooking the chicken, if you're cutting it up like I am, it'll take about 5 to 15 minutes to cook. And if you leave it whole, then it'll take about, depending on how much you put in there, anywhere between 25 and 35 minutes. Now, chicken is one of the most forgiving meats as long as you give it some moisture, which we're going to do by adding some water and boiling it. It ends up being one of the more decent meals that you can make. So we're going to add some water. You just need enough water in the pan to cover the chicken. And then I'm going to add just a couple of spices. You can add whatever tickles your fancy. I happen to like some garlic powder, some lemon pepper, and some onion powder. So we're just going to add a little bit of that. And it doesn't have to be an exact science. It's whatever tickles your fancy, like I said, how much ever you want to put in there. And then we're going to cook that. And we'll let that boil, and like I said, it'll take about 15 minutes or so for the chicken to cook. So we'll let that cook. In the meantime, I already have some chicken over here that we've already prepared so that we can continue on with our demonstration. Now we want to make sure that we don't cross-contaminate, so we're going to move this out of the way here. So after you've added your water, you're going to let that boil. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add some yumminess. I happen to like cheese, a lot of cheese. Now, I could use cheese as a meal, but we're going to use it in addition to the meal. And we also have some salsa that we're going to add. Nobody likes plain Jane. So you just take the whole container of cheese and add it in. And then you can use how much ever salsa you want. I just use a little bit of salsa because I don't like it real spicy, but I do like to have a little bit of spice to it. And we'll put the right lids on them. And then all you're gonna do is you get to mix it up. You want to make sure that you get it completely coated so that it's all covered up, because nobody likes plain Jane chicken. At least I don't. So we'll make sure that we get it completely covered up. And whatever you like, again, you can add additional stuff to it. And this is one of those more versatile meals as well. You can serve it over anything you like. You could serve it over rice. You could serve it over tostadas. You could serve it as a burrito if you wanted to. I'm actually going to serve it over some Frito chips that I brought with me. So we'll make sure that we have enough chips for everybody. You just take your chips. Just put a little on the side because you can use it as a dip. Some people like to put it on top, but you can put it on the side if you like. And then take your dip. 1 scoop's usually enough, but when you have hungry teenagers, you may want to add 2 scoops. And that is the gist of it. It only takes a couple of minutes to make it. If you're making the whole entire pot, it usually takes about half an hour total to make it. As you can see, it just took us a couple of minutes to continue to do it. Thank you so much.